Good evening, everybody. Look at me here, right on time. I know, you're impressed. I'm impressed. I think we all should be. How are we doing? Are we good? Are we fabulous? Good. I'm glad to hear it. Okay, so tonight we're going to be doing some more art journaling with the Bee Crafty transparency prints. I'm just deciding on some colours at the minute, because I used that many colours on that opposing page. It's hard to decide which ones to go with. I think I'm going to go with a strawberry daiquiri. What really doesn't go? Possibly a strawberry daiquiri and a dirty martini. They don't go at all, and therefore they appeal to me greatly because I like that sort of thing. Okay, are we having a good week? Who has done their Bee Crafty deck for week 5? It is Leaves, if you've been waiting for the prompt. Hi Caroline, hi Pauline. Okay, and make sure you are uploading your makes to the album in the Bee Crafty Stamps group. Whoops. I will turn that noises off. Marvellous. No, I can't get rid of that. Hello, Sammy. Hello, Lynn. Okay. So, like I say, tonight we're going to be doing some art journaling, and I'm going to do this page. The last page I did in this journal was actually these two, using the new transparency prints, which were fun and awesome, but I do want to add a bit more to them at some point. But as you can see, I did add some white highlights after we finished, and I really like them. I think they're quite funky. Just a bit different, I think. Okay, so we're going to, before that it was this one, so I figured I'm going to do on here. Okay, first things first is I want to use, like I say, some more transparency prints, but I've been thinking I want to have some book print behind these circles. I want to use some of these big circles, but I don't necessarily want to cover this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some matte medium, and I'm going to basically put some matte medium on the back of these three here, and I'm going to stick these to my book page whilst we're doing the rest of the page, and then we can cut them out and add them on later. Okay, I did nearly do it. Did I say gonna lots of times? Sorry. I did nearly do it before we went live, and then I thought, no, the whole point is to try and do as much as I can with you, isn't it? So that's what I wanted to do. Okay, so yeah, so basically I've just used some matte medium, and I'll be honest with you, the matte medium has gone directly on the circles, because that's the way, it's the most economical way of using matte medium, isn't it? So on there, and we'll cut them out towards the end. Alright. Oh, sorry, I've just realised I didn't share the live. That was a bit daft, wasn't it? I'm going to do that right now. Here we go. There we are. Okay. So I did think as well, what I might do is use one of the transparency gallerias that we didn't use on the last double layout. So I'm not sure if it's going to be that one or this one as yet. We're going to see how it evolves, I think, because I do think she's rather fabulous. But she looks like she knows something. There we are. All right. Shaz is sleep deprived. I don't really know what to say to that. Alrighty, so let's get some colour on here. I'm going to go, like I say, with the Dirty Martini and the Strawberry Daiquiri. I'm not going to get out, and I've chosen these two because I think they proper clash and it could go really wrong. And I like that. Alright, so I'm going to put some Dirty Martini on. I'm going to grab a dry brush actually. And we're going to get that up here. And we're just going to, I've put far too much of that on. That's okay. It's like a really earthy green for the Dirty Martini. Okay, I'm going to give that a bit of a heat set. Actually, I'm not. I've already changed my mind. I'm going to grab one of my templates. So this is the alternate circles. Okay. And I'm going to grab my mini mister. I'm going to spritz that. I'm going to clear that off. Do the same again. Where's my mini mister gone? It's alright, I'm just going to wipe it off anyway. Just to give that a bit of a... There we go, we'll use some of that paint print on there. And that way it's not just a really sort of block of that green. It's, you know, it already looks better because it's sort of broken down slightly. Know how it feels. No wisecracks, please. Okay, and you can already see here, for example, this bit that's been added on with that template with your alternate circles. That was brilliant because it's almost an unplanned bit, but it sort of matches up, which is ace. Okay, so we managed to make something good happen. So let's see if we can mess it up. Okay, we're going to go on here with some strawberry daiquiri. My strawberry daiquiri is not open. Wow, this is amazing. This colour does not go with this at all. I'm so excited. Alright, we're going to put a little bit here. We're going to put a little bit here because I want to see what it's like on top of the green, and then a little bit there. Alright, again, I'm going to go with a dry brush. And I've gone with sort of like a fluffy brush. I'm going to bring that down. And that on top. Absolutely loving that, by the way. And then I'm just going to grab a piece of spare card. I'm going to come off the edge. And this has got a bit more of a translucent, I would say, maybe quality than the green. Okay, and then I'm going to get, you know what, I'm going to bring the same one back. I might even line it up. Look at that. I am going to mist it because it makes it easier to lift. Mist. Again, I'm going to rub over the way. Ooh. Ooh. This is so exciting. I sometimes think it's just fun. Get your templates out and just do something a little bit weird. Something that you weren't really planning. Because I think a lot of the time, the whole thing I always say about art journaling is the thing I love about it is that it freed me. It made me more adventurous in how I crafted, a lot less regimented. But I think after a certain amount of time, you do stick to what you like and what you know you're going to enjoy looking at, don't you? And sometimes it's fun just to go a bit off the wall again. Yes, we definitely did, my duck. Okay. Yeah, so that's why, for example, I did these. Just to make something a little bit different. Okay? Now this is the thing, I think that not only is it obviously not a matching page for this, which is one of my favourite things, obviously, but it really is part of its own thing, which I really like. Okay, I'm going to have a look. I'm going to have a little look in my little scrap drawer, see what we've got about maybe adding in. I know we've got the book page coming anyway, but I'm thinking maybe about just adding in. So this is just a piece of book paper stamped with one of the Journal Art Elements stamps that come in the Faces bundles. This is what I do when I want to be crafty, but I don't really know what to do. I make backing paper. Now the text is going to be upside down, but I do kind of like it that way. So I'm probably just going to stick with it that way. Okay, so yeah, if you haven't been here before, when I'm trying to be creative, don't really know what to do, I make backing papers using my Journal Art Elements stamps. And earlier, sorry, this is just going to go a quick aside now, I was using mop-up pages with my doodle art stamps. So these are just, I've got a big clipboard full of like the big mop-up pages. And I just stamped a load of my doodle art. So watch out for creations coming with these in the next few days. Because it gets you that fodder, you know. Alright. So back to, that was green. I was going to say, can anyone remember which brush I used for matte medium? Alright, so I'm going to go straight on, because this is now dry. Your Dylusions paint dries so quickly. That's why if you want to do the lifting of the colour, I spritz it with water just to keep it wet a little bit longer, especially if I started to dry it and I changed my mind. But it also just helps you lift it off a little bit more, because it is reactive with water in a similar way as your Distress is, your Dylusion paint. Okay, in a similar way the Dylusion sprays are. But that means you can have a play and make all these wonderful techniques and things with it, with your templates. Okay. Okay, so how are we feeling about it? I sort of feel this has gone to a place where this lady might be a little bit more what we're after. Okay. Let's put that in my water. Okay. I'm then going to take some of my white linen. Okay, and I'm just going to dab that in a couple of places, and again just with a dry brush. Thousand brushes and just never know which one to pick. It's knowing which one's clean enough to make the white come out, you see. I think we all know the cleaning things is not like my forte, is it? It's a bit too much white. Right. That was a bit more white than I wanted. So again, we're going to go back to the template we were using. We're going to lift some of it off. because that way we've kept the theme going, and now we have all sorts of fun and fabulous circles and textures going on. This is getting better by the minute. Okay, and that's what I like about your Dylusions paints. They're reactive with water. They don't resist your sprays. You know, there's just so much you can play with and mess with them. You can lift them, you can add water to them, you can apply them with baby wipes, blending foams, brushes. They're just, I think as well, if you're just starting out, they're just such a good all-rounder. Okay. Okay, so I think we've made this sort of clashing work in a rather wonderful way so far. So now what I want to do is I want to add in something else that shouldn't go. All right, and what I'm thinking is a blue. And I'm going to go with sort of like a bright blue. I'm thinking a Mermaid Lagoon. And I think I'm going to keep going with the circle theme, but I'm going to go with the swirling circles. I'm going to get my blue blending brush. I'm using an oxide for this because I want the opacity of an oxide. I want it to really sit on top of that Dylusions paint. Okay. So I'm going to really load up my blending brush here. I'm going to place the centre circle. You could tape this down if you wanted to. Okay. Okay, I'm really going to have to load this blue up, obviously, if it's going on top of that dirty martini green. So then we have our blue circles around the top, and then I'm going to do the same down in this corner. Really loading up with that Mermaid Lagoon. Awesome. So we've got those swirling circles. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to give that a little waft with my heat tool. Okay. And whilst I think about the next step, I'm going to see if these are dry enough to start cutting out. And yes, I do think they're going to be fine. So I'm going to grab a humongous pair of scissors. Okay. So all of the transparency prints come in packs of 2 A5 sheets. We keep the pack sizes small. So it's not a massive expense if you want to restock one particular design. You know, you're not having to buy 10 sheets because you like one sheet. Do you know what I mean? That being said, if you did ever want to, for example, say you're doing a workshop, you are, you know, doing a bigger project or something like that, and you wanted, for example, say 10 sheets of the big 10 A5 sheets of the bigger circles, get in touch with us. We can absolutely do that. Okay, we're more than happy to do that for you. Same with things like the wordy stickers as well. You know, but if you ever are, yeah, like I say, working on workshops or bigger projects where you need multiples of just, for example, one of your transparency prints designed, please do get in touch. We can absolutely do that for you. No worries at all. As always, when you're cutting, move what you're cutting rather than the scissors. You will get a much cleaner cut. Okay. Now, if you look then, so now we've got our awesome book text transparency prints. Okay. They would actually be really good for a page on their own, wouldn't they? Just with words coming out each one. I think that would look rather fab. I think I am going to use her. I'm just having a go with placement, seeing where I'd like her to be. Originally I was thinking in the middle, but I'm not really sure how I'm going to place these. I mean, I feel like I should do two, but I feel like that's weird. Or would that be okay because it's 3 transparency prints? This is the thing. Should I put her on some book page? No, I think she'd have got lost. So what I am just going to quickly do, I'm going to grab my Posca pen. I'm just going to wipe the white of her eyes so that they stand out. I think it's okay because I've got 3 transparencies, yeah. But now I need to know which transparencies do I use. Because obviously those 2 have got a similar sort of V-shaped pattern, but I really like the ischemic writing on that one. Right. I'm going to cut off the excess of this. Obviously you don't have to, it's clear. It's just because I want to. Just put my finger in that white. Oscar. Okay. Tell you what I do, I'm still pondering. No, she's not right. So I'm going to carry on and do some more to my background, because that's what I do, isn't it? Don't know what to do, add some more to your background. Why not? You know. Okay, so I haven't got any texture paste on it yet, so I could use some texture paste. I was literally just about to use this texture disc, but I won't because it's on that one. So we'll go for some Bakewell. That hasn't been used in 5 minutes. Let's use my Bakewell. If you haven't seen me use this Inkables big one before, this is the Bakewell pattern, because it's like the pattern you get on the top of a Bakewell slice. I actually have 2 of these. This is the one that I solely use for texture paste. It is used and abused and battered, and as clean as I can possibly get it. So now I have 1 for texture paste and 1 for ink. But you're not allowed to tell Billy I still have this one, because well, it's not that I still have it, that I've demonstrated with it. He gets very upset that I have been demonstrating with this absolutely used and abused Inkables big one. Whereas I think it's a good advert for their usability and strength, and it doesn't matter what I say next, he's still not going to think it's a good idea. But here we are. It's well loved, exactly. Well loved. All right. So. I'll take that bit off, and that bit. Those 2 little bits there. I'm going to give that a little waft with the old heaty tool. And then I'm just going to commit. Okay, so we're going to get some collage medium. And on the corners of this transparency, we're going to place her right about there. Okay, but this is still what I love collage medium, because if I'm not happy with that at all in a couple of minutes time, well, yeah, a couple of minutes should be fine. I can still move it. I didn't want to use this one. Wanted to use the other one, but it's all right. I had contemplated adding one of them, but I think I've already overcooked it slightly. I'm just going to lift that up. Let the sheen on so you can see it. Okay, but we desperately need some words. What words do I have? I know I've got my small words. I also have out at the minute my mixed messages. I'm going to get my other wordage. Sorry, I'm not sure. All right. Sorry, I'm deep in thought. Okay, so I think I'm going to go with Mixed Messages 4. And I'm going to put the lid back on my matte medium for now. Put to the front. There. And I'm thinking with Mixed Messages 4, I'm going to go with the Let Them Stare But Make It Worth It. Okay, Sam is currently doing links to all the mixed messages because, let's face it, nobody knew what I was going to do. Including me. I mean, it's not like, you know. I knew and I was just keeping it secret. So I'm going to use my Versafine Clear. I'm also going to get my detail clear powder ready because I am definitely going to heat emboss this. Let them stare, but make it worth it. Now, I'm going to heat emboss this for 2 reasons, okay? The first being, we're using the transparencies, which have obviously got the sheen on them. So heat embossing this will give it that lovely sheen that will make it fit in with the transparencies. The second, and possibly predominant reason that I'm going to heat emboss it, is it's a lot of black ink that I am liable to smudge. So, you know. Let them stare, but make it worth it. Women fantabulous. And then I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to cut it into the 3 strips of the sentiment. Now obviously these are all bunched together, so you don't have to do this. You could use it all as one. But I just think as we've got 3 transparencies, let's keep it's worth it. I think it also has that look of when you heat emboss it. It also gives it that look of like it's been done on a Dymo or something. Obviously the beauty of that is you can heat emboss it in any colour you like. Do you know what I mean? If you used a clear embossing ink, you could use any of your distress glazes to give it that sort of hint or tint. But you could also go onto black card and use a white embossing powder to reverse it. So, you know, loads of things you can do. Loads. I'm going to go with again with things that are quick to dry. Grit paste is pretty much dry, and this is where I can be quite of a difficult to please customer when it comes with product, because I like products that are workable, but when I've decided where I want it to go, I want it to dry quickly. Do you know what I mean? You know, once I've decided that's where you're going to live, I want you to live there and stick. And that's where the Dylusions paints work for me. It's why the grit paste works for me, because it dries, it's got that really good workability in terms of, for example, with grit paste, you can mix it with your re-inkers, with your Distress Oxide sprays, with gloss sprays and that sort of thing to give it those other colours and textures. but it dries really quick once it's in situ, which I absolutely love. Okay, this is going to need something weighty on it. Not me, thank you. To make these stick. But I'll put on a finished, I'm going to just scrape off some of that excess. That medium from around there. So I'll put a finished picture on tomorrow, so sorry I can't do that right now. Alright, and I think I might even add a bit of faux stitch or something around the edge. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me this evening. Please keep your eye on the Bee Crafty deck. There is lots of inspirations coming up. I have put a short video on today of how I made this week, which is week 5, which for me now means I've completed all the aces and one of my kings, because I'm going to do the month sort of in order. And then in the extra weeks, I'm going to work my way back from, on the extra Mondays, I'm going to work my way back from the kings. Okay. Okay. The kings will cover the extra Mondays. Alright then guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions about any of the products or anything, please let us know. We will do our best to get back to you as quickly as possible. Tomorrow is the 31st of January, which means it is the last day to get your entries in for Sally's challenge over in the Bee Crafty Stamps group. So make sure any entries that you have are in for that. You can enter up to 3 times. So if you've only done once, you've got 2 more to do. Okay, and then we will have another Bee Crafty deck on Monday. Sam is in Crafting Together with All Brands on Thursday, I believe. And it's a start of a whole new month, which means there'll be a new challenge from Sally too. Alright then guys, thank you so much. Bye.